Alright guys, so yesterday was 2 weeks till the Olympia. So Olympia is on a Thursday, check-in's on a Wednesday, we're leaving on a Tuesday, so I've actually only got about 10 days left before we actually hit the road to go up there. So it's coming in quick, and there's a lot still to do, I feel like. So on this video, what I want to go over is for you first-time bikini competitors, some of the items that you're going to want to make sure that you bring along with you, whether or not you're going out of town to a show or you're staying in town. There's a couple things that I wish somebody would have told me to bring along that I would have had that would have really helped me out backstage or during the show. So obviously you're going to have your bikini and you're going to have your heels and things of that nature, but I'm going to tell you and show you just a couple items that I really think would be beneficial to you. So also a little bit of news. I'm a little bummed out. If you've been following me over the last year or two, you saw that last year in March I suffered a shoulder injury to my right shoulder. Primarily my rotator cuff and my bursa was inflamed, and it caused some real issues. I was unable to train upper body for a while, had to go to physical therapy, and it actually took 8 months to heal. Had I just taken a break and stopped training for 6 to 12 weeks, I'm sure, and given it the rest that it deserved, I'm sure I would have recovered a lot quicker. But I was on prep and I had a goal, and that was my first year of competing, and I felt like if I stopped I wouldn't go back. So I continued to train through it, just kind of taking it easy, and by doing so it took 8 months to heal. Then I felt pretty good to go and re-injured it again in April. Not as bad, but it still hurt. I was unable to do anything, had to go through physical therapy again, and I've been nursing it and continue to do upper body workouts, but being real careful, using little to no weight at all, only doing maybe one upper body workout a week, familiar with my shoulders. However, these last couple weeks, the show's right around the corner, and I stepped up my game, as I always do, just doing every little extra thing I can that I think is going to better my physique, how I'm going to look on stage, get me closer. And I started incorporating a lot more cardio, not really taking a rest day during the week, sometimes going to the gym twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, putting 2 shoulder workouts in a week, 2 leg days a week, because that's where I feel I really need to focus on, since I haven't been able to build my shoulders over the last year and a half from that injury. I really feel like that's an area that I need to work on. So I've been doing that, and it bit me in the ass is basically what happened. I went to the pool a couple days ago, was swimming some laps, heard a loud pop, didn't think anything of it. As the day went on, my shoulder started to ache, primarily this area right here, so more of my bicep tendon. And the following day I was stupid and I did back and bis, thinking it was my shoulder that I'd injured because it was more aching in the front here, and I was like, okay, I'll just do back and bis, I'll be careful, not realizing it was actually my bicep tendon. And yesterday was pretty awful. I was icing my shoulder all day, taking anti-inflammatories, holding my arm to my chest the whole day because any movement hurt. We're talking taking off the lid to a jar, taking my shirt off, brushing my hair. So it's all too familiar to me. I've been down this road before, and fortunately it was not my rotator cuff and my bursa, the joint. I don't think it's any of that. I think it's just the bicep tendonitis that I had along with that injury before. I'm hopeful, I'm crossing my fingers that it's more of the DOM, the delayed onset, muscle recovery here, the soreness that I'm feeling. Hoping I just tweaked it a little bit too much, overworked it just a tad, and it's gonna hopefully go away as the days pass. If not, if it's what I've done in the past and blown this injury wide open, I think I'm gonna have to start my off season early and skip out on Europa next month, which is a little bit devastating because that's the show that I really wanted to make a comeback from since last year and better my placing that I'm really looking forward to. And if I can't train though, that's really gonna hurt me, and I think I'm gonna have to take myself out of the running for that show. So I need to give my shoulder the rest it deserves to properly heal. Realistically, it's been injured since March of last year and hasn't fully recovered, so the muscle's weak, and I'm just asking for it. I'm lucky that I haven't injured it enough that it's needed surgery. But how many times, am I gonna get injured before I let it sink in that I need to rest? So hopefully with only 10 days to the Olympia, I can hold on to the gains that and the results that I've worked on this whole prep, and get away with not doing another upper body workout, because doing biceps, shoulders, chest, any of that, is gonna affect this area. So I'm gonna change my focus to ab work, glutes, legs, cardio, not the pull obviously now, but just really focus on that over the next week. So I'll let you guys know how this goes, but anyway, I was a little bummed about that situation. Also, I need your help. I'm gonna be a little girly with you. I don't know how to do my hair for the Olympia. I'll show you some pictures. I'll put some pictures up of my previous shows, and everyone's kind of in agreement that my hair looks better straight. However, I'm doing longer extensions this show. They're about 20 inches, and when you're sweating and you're swinging your hair around, it tends to get a little nappy, little rat's nest looking, and the curls will hide that a little bit more. However, my hair is really thin, and with the sweat from all the anxiety I get, I sweat a lot on stage. It just like drips off me. That gets in my hair, and the curls just like flatten out. So I'm gonna do a beach wave, and I'm gonna do a straight look for you guys. And if you could just send me a quick comment underneath and say, hey Jen, love the straight look, waves all the way, just see what your opinion is, and that way, whatever feedback I get the most of, I know which way to go, because I'm honestly really torn. I know that that's a silly, stupid thing, but just figured I'd ask you guys and see what you say, and we'll go with that. So without further ado, let me go ahead and pull everything out and show you guys what I think are some must-have items for when you do a show. All right, so hold on. Okay, I'm back. So I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but I just ran around and collected stuff real quick that I could remember. So that's also something I would make sure that you definitely pack a little suitcase or little bag you're gonna wanna bring back stage with you at least 2 or 3 days prior to the show, because you always forget something, and you don't wanna be back there and shoot, I wish I would've brought that. So, because your brain at the end, as you know, you're carb depleted, you're dehydrated, your mind's going a mile a minute, and you're just, you forget stuff, you do. So, first and foremost, and I'm sure if you have a coach, they're gonna let you in on a lot of this, but just in case you don't, and you're kind of doing this on your own, just wanted to let you know things that you need to be aware of. So bring a pair of flip-flops. So these ones I got from Walmart or something, and they've got the squishy pad. I like that because when you have the tan on you, it gets on the bottom of your feet really bad, and this soaks it up. So when I'm putting my heels on, or if I'm walking on the ground with my heels off and walking around, my feet aren't slippery and slimy like they would get if I was in my regular flip-flops. So these I bought solely to use at shows, and they also have the Velcro. So my feet tend to shrink and also get sweaty when it's showtime. I know it's kind of weird, but just from being depleted. So this way I can tighten them and they fit my feet. But anyway, flip-flops. Also, you're gonna wanna cover up. I have a robe. I also will use pajama pants, and I have a button-up flannel that I use. But this is what you're gonna wear when you're walking around backstage, or if you're not up yet on the show and you want to go out and sit with the audience. You can't be walking around in your bikini. And this is gonna protect the tan from getting off on everything. You want to make sure you don't have anything tight because it will leave lines. This tan is tacky and it does lift. So you also want to make sure it's cotton. It's not something like polyester, silk, or anything that's gonna sweat or that's gonna lift the tan. And you don't want it to have any funny textures or anything in it, because that print will actually like imprint onto your body. So I like to just wear pajamas and, like I said, a button-up shirt, so I'm not lifting it up and over my head during night. And then backstage I'll wear a robe because it's just easier to take on and off. So you want to have that with you. Another big thing that you may or may not think of, sorry, I felt like the hiccups or something, is a pillow and a blanket. So backstage, you're going to be back there for a couple hours, easy, and you're going to be tired. Usually you're getting ready for the show as early as 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, especially if you're doing a one-day show, because you're going to have prejudging early in the day, and then you're not going to go on again till late at night. I was at a show that lasted till 2 a.m. one time, so I was up at 3:30 to do my makeup and then didn't leave till like 1:30. So it's very long, and all you're doing is sitting backstage and waiting your turn. So it's a lot of hurry up and wait. And it gets uncomfortable, and a lot of times you're gonna want to be off your feet. You're not wanting all that bloody drain into your legs. So you're gonna wanna relax. So you wanna bring a pillow and a blanket to lay on. Make sure they're washable, or you don't really care about them because they are gonna get tan on them. With the blanket, make sure it's not a quilt or anything that has like creases, because again, it will stick to you. So I just have one of these like little fleece blankets. That's my kids, that the fleece works really well. So have that as well. Again, with the waiting, you're gonna get your hair done, whether you do it straight or curly or whatever. You're probably gonna need some touching up backstage. Now, they may or may not have outlets for you to use, so this is kind of a gamble, but just in case, you wanna bring whatever your hot iron or curling iron you want, just for chances of touching it up. They normally do have a mirror back there for everybody, but usually they're just like those little tiny scrawny mirrors, and there's a couple of them around, so people are always going to be in front pumping whoever's getting ready to go up on stage, or they're going to be crowded around it. So I always bring a mirror. So this has been very nice multiple times and come in handy quite often. So for your makeup, your hair, whatever, when I've gone and done shows in the hotel room, I will put this mirror like behind me so that when I'm putting in my clip-ins and doing my hair, I can see. And then also I can even use it for posing, have somebody hold it for me. I want to practice my posing before a show. So I always have a mirror in my bag. If you get your makeup done, this is something I haven't had the courage to take on myself yet. It is one thing that I pay to have done, is my makeup, but I'm working on it because it can be very expensive, upwards of $150, and that's just for one application. So if you are doing a 2-day show, you're gonna have to pay that twice, once for prejudging, once for finals, and it can be very expensive. So the benefit is they're there to do touch-ups usually. It includes like your false lashes, and the makeup is gonna blend nicely because you're gonna be that dark Oompa Loompa tan. So that's hard to match when you're not, tan already. So, but things you are gonna wanna bring with you and have on hand are translucent powder, so that this can go over whatever color you are, and a lip gloss to touch up your lips, because that's gonna come off. You're gonna be eating backstage, doing things you want to have those nice glossy lips when you get on stage. And I always bring Vaseline to put on my teeth. It helps with that smile and just makes your teeth glisten and shine, and also helps if, like I said, you've been eating and everything like that, don't have an opportunity to brush your teeth, makes your teeth look nice and clean. And always bring a flosser. Same thing, never fails. You're gonna eat something, it's gonna get stuck in your teeth, you can't get it out. Make sure you have a flosser. I also bring Q-tip in case you get eye gunk or something that's on your face, or a piece of tan, or there's like a little spot or something you need to get. Just Q-tips are also lifesaver. Next, this is very important. Wine. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to bring a big bottle backstage, and some shows actually won't even let you bring a little. They'll have no alcohol. But I always buy the singles and try to have like a little swig before I go on stage. Just some liquid courage. Also helps with vascularity. Just kind of takes the nerves away. So I don't recommend sitting there and getting hammered before you go on stage. And you are going to be depleted, so a little bit goes a long way. But definitely recommend having a little wine about a half hour before you go on stage. It'll do wonders for you, and it'll really, like I said, help with vascularity, help calm your nerves, just give you a little bit of liquid courage as you go up there. On that same note, food-wise, so you're gonna have your food that you're gonna bring with you and be carb loading or whatever backstage, whatever your coach tells you to do. But I also recommend having a little bit of sugar and a little bit of chocolate. Whatever you're bringing for afterwards, or you're going out, that's fine. But you're gonna want a little bit of sugar before you go on stage, and helps with the pump, helps with vascularity. Also, you're gonna feel faint if you're a little anxious out there. So you're gonna have a lot of adrenaline rushing through you. So the sugar's gonna take that edge, give you a little bit of energy prior to getting up there on stage. So don't pig out and have the whole bag, but a little bit of sugar really helps. So whatever your preference is, sugar, chocolate, but go with that. Okay. Also, I don't have a water bottle right now, but you're gonna want water backstage too. Now, chances are you're gonna be depleting and not really allowed to have much, whatever your coach says, but you are gonna want a little water bottle. I just get those little kitty half bottles to sip on back there. You're gonna get cotton mouth, or feeling lightheaded, or any of that, you wanna have a little bit of water, so make sure that you also pack a water bottle. Any food that you bring with you, I like this little fold-up lunchbox. I got this at Target. That way when I'm done with my food, I can just fold it, stuff it in there. It doesn't take up a lot of room. And then I have the disposable food container, so that I can just throw these away in a Tupperware, or you can do Ziploc baggies too. A lot of times I do that. What these are good for is if your show's out of town and you are going to be staying overnight in a hotel. I like to bring all my food. There are companies that you can have where you can purchase the food and they'll ship it to you, and it'll be there when you get there, and that is always nice. But I just always do my own. And you want to make sure that the hotel has a microwave or a refrigerator. Most, even if they don't have it available in the room, it is available at the front desk for a small fee for you to have for the duration of the stay. So there's that. If you are going to a hotel room, make sure you bring your own sheets. So you're gonna have that tan on you, as I said before. Yes, you're gonna be sleeping in something to cover it, but the tan will get on those sheets, believe me. So you wanna bring your own sheets to wash. You can just take off and bring home with you, and you don't have to worry about dirty their sheets. So that is a definite must-have item. So make sure you bring your own sheets. Also, this is escaping me the name of this right now, but the shower cap. This one I have is just a polyester one. It's more for like the curlers, so it's not water, proof. That way I'm not sweating underneath it when I'm sleeping. It's breathable. But you're gonna want to tuck your hair up at night, because you're not gonna be able to shower the day of the show. And again, you're gonna have that tan, and you don't want the tan to get all over your hair. And if you're blonde like me, your hair is gonna be orange. So you want to have one of these to tuck your hair up in the night before. On the note of the hair, so I always do extensions. My hair is very thin, and the judges like a full body look. Also, I didn't have the length before. My hair's grown out quite a bit this year. Don't go spend a ton on hair extensions, just don't. I know girls that spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's not needed. Let's be real, this is like a one-time thing. If you're doing a couple shows in the year, even then, you're gonna be wearing these 5, 6, 7 times maybe throughout the year. You can get quality, just 100% human hair. It needs to be 100%. If you get synthetic, it's gonna shine on stage like doll hair. It's gonna look fake, it's gonna be awful. And you're not gonna be able to curl it or apply any heat to it. So make sure that it's 100% human hair. I bought my first batch from Sally's, but they didn't have, I think the highest that they go is 18 inches. And this go round, I wanted 20 to 22 inches. So I had to buy new hair, but there's another reason why. Now, you ladies with dark hair, this probably will apply to you, but if you're blonde like me, so I'm not gonna take them out, hopefully you can see it, but let me see, hold on. Okay, so hopefully you can see, but my tits are orange. This is my new hair. See if you can, I don't know if you can see the difference, but, and this is just, I have a dark streak in my hair, so I have one dark streak. I just had my hairstylist color it when I went in and she trimmed this up for me, so you can always take them to your hairstylist and have them do them. But these cost me about $80 to $100, I think, and I washed them as instructed, used different shampoos, tried different products, and could not get the tan out. So after a couple shows, these are kind of garbage. I did wear them, I'm still holding on to them, obviously hoping that I can somehow save them, but they just blend in right with my tan. You know, your hair hitting your back, like the tan just mixes in with it, and that stuff does not come out. So I have orange hair. So that is why you don't want to go purchase $300, $400 extensions or have extensions put in, because there's a good chance that they may get ruined. So there's that. Dixie cups, a girl's best friend. So you're gonna have to pee when you're waiting backstage, and you are tanned, you have your bikini on. You may not think that you splatter, but we do, girls, we splatter. Stuff hits just the tiniest little drop of water, pee, whatever, gets on your tan, it's gonna streak, it's gonna leave a line, it's gonna be ugly, it's gonna be noticeable, and you're gonna be showing it to the world. So Dixie cups, preference, whatever, you're gonna cut out the bottom, you're gonna take this in when you go to the restroom. Lifesaver, you will be regretting very much so if you do not bring these. So make sure you bring a couple of those to the show. And on that same note, sorry if there's any boys watching, but girls, also tampon, plug it up. Even if you're not on your period, we girls have a tendency to, well, you know, make sure you're plugged up, because again, you're gonna be sitting there, the tanning, getting sprayed, not wearing anything, and you wanna make sure that you're not gonna streak at all. So plug up. I always just cut the string so you don't have to worry about showing the world a string if you have a mishap or a wardrobe malfunction. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Forgot to mention this, so back to the hair. I always bring just like a teasing comb to give myself a little oomph if I need it, if my hair falls flat during the day or I need to adjust anything. So just make sure you have a little comb with you. It's amazing how this little thing like this can save the day too. If you're having, you know, a mishap, or you get some bedhead from laying down back there for a couple hours. And 3 products, hair products that I bring with me, I know it's going to be a lot, right, is hairspray, just a light hairspray. You know, this speaks for itself why you're going to need that. I bring oil. My hair is pretty damaged since I do dye it blonde. I'm blonde and I dye my hair blonde, kind of silly, I know, but it gets kind of frayed and frizzy, so I have the oil to kind of smooth out any flyaways or any areas that look straw-like. So I've got that as well. Dry shampoo is a woman's best friend. I don't use this in my day-to-day life at all, but it's great for shows, for giving boost, using it in place of hairspray. It just puts that product in the hair to help hold the curl and without giving you that crunchy feeling of hairspray. So oftentimes I use this. It's also kind of like acts as a deodorant. It's perfumey and nice, and we stink back there, so just it kind of helps with that too. But anyway, you want to use this. Let's see, what else? Headphones. Make sure you've got some earplugs. I go with the buds, that way you're not ruining your hair or makeup or anything like that. But you can really get inside your head back there as you're waiting, and your adrenaline's rising, waiting to go on stage. So I like to just get in my zone, you know, put some tunes on and zone out, go Zen mode, and use the music to help pump me up and kind of block out the rest of the world. So these are really nice to have while you're waiting backstage, getting ready to go on as well. So, okay, so that brings us to jewelry. Now, if you're on Instagram especially, you're gonna see there's a lot of these competition jewelry places. I personally prefer just to get mine from like Charming Charlie or off Amazon. It's a lot more cost effective and a lot cheaper for the same thing. So all of them, it's not real gold, it's not real silver, it's the chintzy rhinestone stuff, and it's gonna get tarnished after a few shows. I'll show you an example here. So here's a bracelet that I used at my first show. Hopefully you guys can see this in here, I don't know if you can. This is one that I just purchased. So you can see, so this one is losing, I lost this stone already, and it's orange. It's discolored from the tan that I had compared to this guy here. So as you can see, they're not the highest of quality, and they're not gonna last forever. So you really don't want to be spending, like, this would probably be $30 from one of those stores online, where I got this for like $7, I think. And I also bought, I'm not going to use all these, but a little group, this little pack came together of 3 singles and 2 doubles, and I think it was $3 for all of these. So your best bet, like I said, is just to go off Amazon and get them. Some earrings, and then I have a ring. I have a couple different, just depending on, you know, what look I want to go for, and what suit I'm wearing. So bring those with you as well. And this is something that, because of something that happened to me at a show, I now bring with me, and that is safety pins. So these suits, I don't care if you spent $150 on your suit or you spent $1,500 on your suit. They all have the same connectors and are made from the same fabrics. And things come undone, things break when you're pulling in a hurry or you're constantly wearing them, and that's what these are good for. I had one of my connectors on my bottom pieces break, so safety pin to the rescue. Also, sometimes the buttons that you wear aren't buttons, and they'll just be pieces of paper, and they can fray after wearing them for several hours backstage, so it's nice to have an extra safety pin to maybe tuck it down. I also had sewing that came out, some stitching that came out of one of my ties, so I was able to safety pin the back of that. So these are great for when you're in a pinch. Also, if you have a bikini bottom that you would like to be a little bit smaller, depending on what organization you are competing in, the coverage on your glutes is going to be different. And for NPC, it's pretty small. I have a pro cut for NPC, so the back's like this big. But for OCB, they required a larger back. But I actually really like this suit. So here's the coverage on the back. It doesn't look very big, but it is when I put it on. So you can actually just go on the inside here and take the safety pin and weave it in and out of here and pull it tight, and it'll actually pull in your suit, make it smaller. So they're good for that as well. That brings us to Bikini Bite. There's a good chance the tanning people that are at the show will have this, or your coach will probably have this. Usually it's around, but just in case it's not, I like to have it on hand. So this is gonna hold everything into place. So you're gonna lay out that back piece just right, but when you're moving around, practicing your posing, things kind of shift around and move, and you don't wanna go out on stage and have, you know, your left cheek like covered more than your right cheek, because, you know, things have moved around. So you can get the little stickies or the Bikini Bite spray, and it'll hold everything in place really nice. So it's another thing you're gonna wanna have on hand. Now, tanning can really mess with, I mean, it's gonna look different on everybody. I personally require more coats than most people because I'm so fair skinned. Also, I usually end up having to wash mine off, which they don't recommend, but I do. I have to wash mine off after the first coat because I sweat so profusely that I streak really bad and I always turn green. My last show is the only show that did not happen to me, and I think that's because it's the only show that I wasn't on my menstrual cycle, and that can really mess with your hormones. So depending on where you're at in your cycle, ladies, it's gonna throw your pH balance off. So I have purchased this pH balance exfoliant. You're gonna wanna put this on, and that'll take care of it. You don't even have to worry then about the green. So this is just gonna make sure your tan stays the color that it should. And you're also gonna wanna get like a dry oil spray. Lots of times people will be using like olive oil sprays and things like that in the bath. You don't want to do that. It clogs the pores and it's awful and it just gets everywhere. This goes on, creates that same look, gives you a nice shine, and it's a dry shine, so it's not going to have that wetness to it. It's not going to clog the pores. This is an oil-free, non-greasy spray. So this one's Copper Tone, Banana Boat. You can just grab this in the store. So, and it's there all season, so you don't have to worry about it not being there. So make sure you have that so you can spray yourself down before you're actually gonna walk on the stage. I forgot to grab it, but on tanning, you're gonna wanna exfoliate prior to getting your tan. So shave everything, and I mean everything, even your arms. I'm blonde, so it's kind of hard to see, but the tan's going to stick to all your little hairs and everything, and it can create little lines and streaks and things that you do not want to see. And it also will highlight your definition more with your muscles, so you want to make sure it has a nice smooth scape. So, you know, shave any like belly button, belly fuzz, arm, back, shoulders, your booty, shave it all off. And then you're going to want to exfoliate. I usually actually use a nail brush because the bristles are nice and hard to really take off everything, or like a loofah. And you're going to want to wash with, I use dish soap. You don't want to use any body lotions or body washes or anything that they have like a waxy buildup and things in there that it's not going to completely clean your skin. And you want your skin dry, completely clean. So I will actually use like I said, dish detergent, and use that to wipe everything off. So just a little tip on that. Also, if you have tattoos, you can show the case of the tattoos. It's not going to harm you in any way as far as judging goes. I have a little one on my ankle and I have a little one on my hip. So because they're so small, it almost looks like I have something on my butt rather than, oh, that's a tattoo. So I actually have tattoo coverage. This I got actually from my work several years ago because I wasn't allowed to show tattoos. But I find that it works well too for shows, so I'll just put a little bit on. So if you have something like that, like a little tattoo or something that you don't want to show, you can go get a tattoo coverage and put that on prior to your tan, and that'll really help out to cover it. You won't even be able to tell. So there's that. Cases. So my first show, I just put my bikini in a Tupperware bin. It worked, you know, it was fine, but all of your bikinis have these rhinestones and clasps and things, and you've got your bags thrown backstage, and you're in the hotel, whatever. You don't want them to get smashed, crunched, ruined, or anything, so you want to have a hard protective cover for them. You'll probably see these everywhere. These are the most common. I got this off Amazon for like $2. So again, there's a lot of companies and things that will sell these 15, 20 bucks, whatever, $10 I've seen them for. $2, free shipping, Amazon. So, I mean, it may not have been the design that I wanted, but who cares? So it was $2. So I recently had to buy another one. So I just got this kind because I have 2 bikinis and I'm having a third made, so I can't shove them all in here. I don't know which one I like better yet. This one kind of takes up a lot of space, but it is thin. This one's just more round. And I thought I might like it better because I can put everything in here, like my jewelry and everything in one stop, where I can't in this. So this was a little bit more. It's a cup case. I couldn't find like a knockoff. I had to buy it from the actual, the one vendor. So I believe it was $15. So if you don't want to spend that much, one of these works just as good. Shoulder pads are, well, they were. You might be having your bikini made where they're actually putting padding into the top, especially if you're more flat-chested. A lot of times they'll pad up your top for you. I have larger breasts, so I don't need padding in my top, but I do want a lining in there just to make everything smooth. When I'm posing, my pecs will flex and my boobs will kind of go one way or the other, or you know, it's just nice to have this where it'll bring some form and, you know, or doesn't show THO, things like that. So I recommend, I just took these out of a sports bra and cut them up, and then I can put them in my top. I have a little hole cut into the fabric in my back so I can actually stuff them inside the top. You can have your bikini girl do that prior to making it if she doesn't do padding. But that's another little tip for you. I think I've hit on everything. I've at least bombarded your brain with enough stuff, I think. If I come up with anything else before I edit this video, I'll put it in there for you. But I hope that helps. I hope, you know, maybe there was something there that you're like, oh yeah, I need that. Thanks for letting me know. But that's it. So hopefully I'll get another video out to you guys prior to leaving for Vegas on Tuesday. I'm not sure. It's the weekend now. There's a lot to do with the kids, and you know, the kids have school next week. We've got to go to Vegas. We've got a lot of situating to do there. A lot happening and going on. But I'm gonna try to at least get one more out before, like I said, we hit the road. And then I will definitely be doing coverage. So tune in to my Instagram account. I'll be, you know, doing live stories and stuff throughout the course of the day. If you don't know, my account is benchen_blonde, and you can follow me on there. Otherwise, like I said, I'll make sure to get at least something out to you guys next week, or I will definitely do a post video. So it's exciting. So make sure that you like the video, share it with anybody you think might benefit from this knowledge I shared with you today, and subscribe, okay? All right, guys. Have a good one, and I will see you on the flip side.